Welcome to Your Soul Biz Podcast, the place to be if you want to create a business and life you love. Tune in for uplifting content and interviews with inspiring women who are already living their purpose and turn their passion into a business they love. And learn how you can do it too. This show is your weekly dose of inspiration, insights, and motivation, as well as honest talks and shares about the journey as a female entrepreneur. My name is Michelle Pine and I'm your host. I'm a holistic life and purpose coach, multi-passionate lifelong learner, and entrepreneur. I'm so happy that you're here, right along on this exciting journey with me. Love, Michelle. Welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited to speak to today's guest. She really turned her passions for art and people into a multifaceted business that she truly loves. She colors up people's life as a visual facilitator, moderator, life coach, and lecturer. And besides all that, she's also a new mom. And yeah, to top it all off, she's also launching her podcast, Color Up Your Life, very soon. Actually, I know this lady already from university days, so I'm more than happy that we joined forces today to record this episode. Welcome with me, Brechtje Hendriks. Yay!
Hello, good morning, Michelle. So nice to see you here.
Good morning, good afternoon. Yeah, you're in Mallorca.
Exactly. Good morning and good afternoon to Shanghai.
Exactly. Morning in Mallorca and afternoon in Shanghai. Yeah,
Exactly. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy that you're here and I'm so happy to speak with you about your journey and to dig a little bit deeper today.
Exactly. I'm looking forward a lot. Thank you for the invitation. I'm looking forward.
Yeah, very happy. So let's dive right into your journey of how you became the woman you are today and how you turned all your passions into the business you love.
That's like a quite immense and big question. One part of my journey, I would say, has always been art. So I would say art has been accompanying me for whole my life from like I was a little kid. I went to Waldorf school. If some people know that, it's a vrije school in Holland. And it doesn't have that good reputation, but it helped me to get into art and also getting to know my passion for art. So at least for that, it was good. And then I took place in an art program during high school. It was like a talent program for art. So from that point on, I've been making art, all the time. But yet, like, okay, what do you do afterwards? What do you want to study? Let's study something really good. Let's study something you can also work with later on. So I studied international business, which was also really nice for me because I really love working international and also in an international field. So I studied international business and then also afterwards worked in big companies, multinational companies, in marketing, in strategy, also in human resources, in change management. It was like a long time like this that we had like these two worlds. So this artsy world where I made art and did exhibitions, gave art workshops also for other people. I started a workshop program, Paint Your Life and Paint Your Future. And then at the same time working in a big multinational company in a department, which was really like another world for me at that time, like going in a suit to work and with lots of other people and like business-minded people. So it was like really different, like sliding into two worlds all the time. And I felt long time that it was like, okay, these are two separated worlds. How can they come together? And then step by step, it got a little bit more together so that after all, I am combining things. So at the moment, I really love it that I can combine visuals, art, my knowledge in this with business topics. So it's always related also to business and to content. So it helps me now that I study business, worked in big companies and multinational companies in HR. And at the moment, it fits really good together. It took a while to discover this so that everything can fit also somehow together. Like a long time, I thought, okay, this is like just two worlds. One of the things I'm doing now, for example, is graphic recording. So I am at big conferences and I make a visual protocol of the dialogues. So the most important messages I draw and I write on a very big poster so that everyone after the workshop can see, or also during the workshop can see, okay, what's happening. She's taking notes for us, so for everyone. And we can also have a look at it after the meeting. So recapture what was being said and what was the strategy, for example, of this meeting. And then it's shared within the company to all employees. So this is a nice combination, for example, for me to combine these two things. And I try also to integrate visuals in other things I do. Like if it is moderating a workshop, I try to integrate also visuals, or coachings, I try to use visuals and the visual mindset also in this, because I think it's important also to visualize things. Some examples how I try to combine both worlds at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I read from your resume, or actually from your website, that you actually over time established your different side businesses step by step, right? As you just mentioned, like I think first art, then the graphic recording, then the moderation, then the live coaching, lecturing. So all these parts came like step by step by step, and you always added them to your business. Okay.
Exactly. It was just like, okay, what do I really like and what do I love and what do I have fun doing? So what do I really enjoy? And then I came on to like different things, and I discovered really step by step what I really loved and what I really love doing. And I, as you see, it's also like, okay, I'm doing this. I really love doing different kind of things. I love the variety, but it came actually really like this. So first, like starting with art, and then I started doing facilitation, also like moderation, facilitation, graphic recording, coaching, and then lecturing. That was one of the latest, I think, developments I'm doing this, but already also like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, it's exciting. And I don't know, I'm also curious what comes next. Well, also my podcast comes next. It's always like open. This is maybe one of the things, I'm just open for what's coming, or open what's interesting me, and then I jump onto that.
Very nice. So a very multifaceted, multi-passionate business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Very good. But you also not only, spending time for your business, but also you're still working in corporate, right? If I read that correctly.
Yeah. Exactly. So it is very many things that I'm doing. And some people are like, wow, how can you do all this in one life? Because I'm also working in, like, I'm now actually at the moment in maternity leave, but I'm working also in human resources as a talent manager at Deutsche Post DHL. And there we help executives, managers in their development as a manager, as a leader, and how they want to grow and how they want to make the next step. So we do coaching with them, or I do coaching with them, leadership coaching, and also workshops. So it's really exciting too. I like it. At the moment, it really fits also to what I'm doing in my sideline business. Long time it was a little bit more different, like marketing was a little bit more away, I would say, from the coaching and the graphic recording. And now at the moment, what I'm doing there as a talent manager fits quite good to what I'm doing also in my own business, which is really nice. Yeah, at the moment I'm in maternity leave, but yeah, that is what I also did like last year. Exactly.
Okay, cool. And before you went on maternity leave, you were doing this full time and all the other things on the side, or how?
No, I did that part-time. Otherwise, I would be working like the whole night. I started with graphic recording also when I was working full-time, but then I realized, okay, I don't have enough time, because I also want to like do the jobs, and have time to do it and have a little bit flexibility. So at that point, I was working in another department. I was working in marketing and product management. And then I reduced my time to, I think, 50 or 60%. I'm not sure anymore exactly. And also afterwards in HR, I also kept on that system. So still worked part-time. And that was really good, because then I also had the possibility and opportunity to do the other things I love, like graphic recording, for example, on events, and doing coaching and lecturing. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
it was quite fully booked, I must say. So I did not really have a lot of free time anymore left. Sometimes I was working in the weekends at the university and then directly and the next day to my job. But as I liked what I did, it wasn't feeling as work.
So what keeps you in corporate if you have so many passions and so many ideas for your businesses? And I mean, they're not few, let's put it this way. What keeps you in corporate?
Yeah, it's a good question. When I would not have the job now, I would probably have left already, because for me, it's always important. Do you really love your job? Do you like what you do? Do you learn in it? Can you explore and can you grow in everything what you're doing? And I really like the things I did. I love the contact with the managers. I love how we could help them and how we could help them. I love like making the workshops work and setting everything up. So I liked the things that we did. When I would have stayed maybe in the job I was doing before, I don't know if I would have stayed, because it was so different as what I was doing, and maybe I would have already said bye-bye. So there must be a reason for me always to stay there, and when the reason is good enough, then I stay. But I'm not like this typical employee. Okay, I stay there because it's easygoing and it's comfortable. A lot of people are like this, I feel, in the corporate world. Okay, it's comfortable. I get my money. I don't need to do that much. It's easy. Why should I leave? So this is like a mindset. Unfortunately, I feel that this is a mindset many people have. And yeah, it's something that you should be aware of, because it is easy to get, I think, in this comfortable position. And it is like also challenging yourself at that point. Okay, I am now here. Do I really like it? Do I like what I do? Or maybe is there another possibility how to puzzle things up and how to change things? Yeah. And so far, I really like the latest job I did. So for me, that was a reason good enough.
Yeah, very good.
But we will see how everything develops. It's always, as we talked before, it's a little bit step by step, and we will see how everything goes. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Just to clarify, the reason why you're still in corporate is because you love your job and what you're doing and coaching the executives. Very nice. So now your maternity leave, do you actually have time to work now on your business?
It is a challenge, obviously, because I love working on my own business. As I said, it's something I like doing and I enjoy. I work already since December, so when he was only 1 month, in January, because I still had some jobs to finish from before, like during pregnancy. It would only be possible, I think, when the baby is also going into this and accepts this. So that is like one thing. So sometimes I use, like, for example, when he's sleeping, I start working, those kind of things. And we have great babysitters. For example, we were in Switzerland for 1 month at the parents of my husband. Then we were in Holland for 1 month at my parents' place. And now at the moment we have an au pair. So I can also work, for example, now at the moment in the mornings, or sometimes also in the afternoons. So we were thinking how to get a system so that I can also work. And my husband, he also likes that I work a little bit. So we had made a deal. So he looks for Leonardo, so takes care of him on 2 afternoons also. So it's like a daddy afternoon. So yeah, that's also nice, I think. I'm still mostly around, but he is mainly responsible then at that point. And I love it because I had like several jobs already. It's 18 workshops in 2 or 3 weeks. So it was quite intense. But I loved it that I could also use my brain a little bit and do something else and something inspiring. Also, a baby is very inspiring, I must say. But I think it's a nice combination. So I think it's really possible to have a baby and also work on your business. Yeah.
Great. Amazing. Amazing to hear for all the moms to be and moms who think about starting a business. Very good. And just to touch on that very shortly, you're both now in Mallorca, right? So your husband is also an entrepreneur, if I remember correctly from what you said. Yeah. Okay. So you moved there, or just for a certain time, or what's
now we just planned on a certain time. The maximum amount of time allowed is 6 months, right? So we are here 6 months, and he can work from anywhere because he has a startup and they do everything remote at the moment. Thank Corona, it's quite good.
So whole entrepreneur's family, so to say.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
Nice, very good. And Out of all your pillars, so you have graphic recording, you have the moderation, you have the life coaching and the lecturing. Is there one part that is, I don't want to say more important, but that you prioritize more than other parts? Is there any favorite part that you love to do most, or are they all equal? Maybe you can
Yeah,
share a
it's a
little.
good question. I think like one thing is that it's also going a little bit in phases. So then I have a phase, I'm a little bit focusing more on this, and then I have a phase focusing a little bit more on this. So maybe it's like a little bit also where the energy goes at the moment. What I really like as well is combining these pillars. And I said before, okay, there's two worlds. So the world of arts and then the world of business. And now finally I can combine it. I also like combining my pillars. So using, for example, coaching tools in moderation or in workshops, and also using visuals in everything I do. So when I have workshops, I use also visuals into this workshop, or afterwards I make a visual summary. After the workshop, I draw the strategy as a strategic like extract of the workshop so that we can share it with everyone. So I try to combine different pillars so that it's not like separate pillars, but that it more becomes like one puzzle together. Yeah.
Okay, very
Like
good.
I'm aiming to do this because I really like it, and I think it also gives more value when you combine the things you do.
Okay, very good. So would you make more business decision based on passion and fun, or would you make more decisions on money?
Oh, I definitely would go more on what is like fun for you at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
because I always say to myself, I started doing this sideline thing initially with art because like art was my hobby. And then I started doing art because I really liked it. I loved it for all my life. Now I see it like the same. So why should I? And I still have this like secure job in the corporate world. So it is like I just do everything because I really like it and because it's fun. Because that was actually the reason why I started. So I always try to remember myself, why am I doing this? Actually, I'm doing it because I love it and because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a good trick for me, like when you're nervous and when you have like a graphic recording and sometimes there's 1,500 people over there and it's like, oh, and then I try to remind myself, actually, I'm just doing this because I really love it. So I just have fun. And I think when you have fun, then you get into the flow again and then you get more into the enjoying.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
there's always a way out. I mean, it's always possible to get a job in the corporate world or in another company back again, or a full-time job again. So then I think it's important to say, yeah, it's actually because of this. I really wanted to do this because I really like doing these kind of things. Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. I love that. To do things because they're a lot of fun and you're enjoying them, right?
Yeah.
It's all about following your bliss, following your joy. Very good. Love that. Love that. So you just said already you do everything because you enjoy it or because it's fun, or that's how you choose what to do next, or maybe what you add to your business, right?
Yeah.
And you also just mentioned that you always try to remind yourself, why am I doing this? Right? Like
Mhm.
why I'm here because I want to have fun and enjoy it. So would you say you also have a why, a bigger why you started your businesses besides fun and joy, vision behind it?
It's a good question. I really think it's important that it also makes sense what you're doing. So when it's helping people, and one of the reasons for me is that I want to clarify people so that they get a clearer mind in what they're at the moment. Maybe this sounds a little bit broad, but I think it summarizes quite good different pillars as you mentioned before. So when they're in coaching, they can get more clarity, for example, about their path, in what direction they want to go. I do a lot of decision making coachings, career coaching. So clarity about this, where do you want to go? Moderation, it can be a workshop, like strategy or looking back, so more clarity on this, or how do you want to work together. Graphic recording, it is really about giving the people a picture, a clear picture of what was the workshop about, or what was the meeting, the conference about, so that they can take this home. I think giving clarity to people and making it a little bit clearer in what direction they could go is one of the things I really aim to do. And obviously, this is about helping people
Yeah.
then, after
You
all.
Yeah,
So I
beautiful.
think it would be when I would just be there by myself and just enjoying and being alone and locked in my house and no one really appreciates it, then it would be a little bit of pity of doing it. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So it's about helping people and helping people
Yeah.
get clarity in different forms. And I
Mm-hmm.
love this because people often ask me, because I'm a purpose coach, right? Like, what is the purpose definition of purpose? And I actually really like that you say here, your mission, your why, what is important to you is to help people to gain clarity, right? So
Yeah.
what is important to you, but the way you do it is very individual to you and what you love doing and what you're really good at. And in your
Yeah.
case, it's also the way of using art and
Mm-hmm.
that you're very good at communication and dealing with people, and you all bring it together in this very beautiful, multifaceted business and in different forms. And I really, really love it. So cool. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
that's nice. Yeah, I think there's just one thing that maybe coming back. It's nice how you summarized it, that is coming like art and people working with people is coming back all the time. But this overall overarching thing is there for everything. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful. So this is a very good example of how you're living your purpose and being truly you and really expressing yourself in this lifetime. So I think that's really inspiring. Very
Oh,
nice.
nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just want to point that out because there's actually a question I often get from clients or potential clients or people I talk with just in general about
Mhm.
purpose. And I often say it's not only one job or like this one dream job, this one thing, your purpose,
Yeah.
but it's actually what makes you you, right? What is important to you? What are your natural talents and gifts? And also, what are your passions and interests, right? Like where it all comes together. So it
Mhm.
can be expressed your purpose and lived in this lifetime in many different forms. And maybe that also changes from
Yeah.
different life phases. And I really
Yeah.
like it. In your case, as you say, you always step by step adding something, how you express your purpose and live your
Yeah.
purpose. I think it's really, really great.
I think it's really nice how you say that it's not necessarily needs to be just this one thing. And I think most people think, okay, purpose, this is just this one thing, but it can be like multiple things. Just it is important that they fit together somehow, or as you say, it has one main goal or one main vision, because it sounds like it is one purpose, but it is not one activity actually. Yeah.
Exactly. 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, talking about your journey and your experiences, what would you say have been your biggest challenges on your journey thus far? And if you looking back now, do you have any tips, you would give yourself to overcome these?
Yeah. So I think one thing is coming from this business school with these peers, there was like this expectations. You go to a corporate and to a multinational company, maybe you do consulting, maybe you do like a high potential trainee program, as I did. You have like several expectations, and your peers and everyone around you has some expectations of you, as well as your coworkers in the company. So everyone thinks, okay, full-time job in there and there and there. So when you go a little bit off this path, I always felt like I'm really like weird, like a stranger and some kind of butterfly going there, and like some alien sometimes within this area. So I think it's important to get a little bit to your feelings. So what are you really feeling? What do you really want? And get into the core of what do I really love? What do I really enjoy? Like this question we had before. And also cope with the reactions of others. So like, for example, coworkers, what do you really want to work less time? You're really sure you don't want to work full time anymore? You want to go into this risk? Also going from full time to part time was seen for many people as a big risk. So coping with the reactions and opinions of others, I think, is one thing. And then just staying onto that and doing it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I think for me, that was I must say it was the biggest challenge, just to do it anyway. So you listen to the opinions of others and then just do it anyways. Yeah.
What did help you doing that anyways? Because there are many, I think that's a very common problem. People fear the opinion of others, what people think
Mhm.
about you, especially like breaking out. What helped you to overcome this?
I think, yeah, it's not so easy. So I think it's always important to listen to well, for me, it's interesting, right? Opinions and what people think is always interesting to listen to. So that's one thing I do. I listen to the opinions of others because it's also valuable. But then after a point, and because I'm really like open person and everything's like getting into me like a sponge. And then after a while, I think it's important to get back to this and then say, okay, now I'm coming back to myself, to what I really want, and then close a little bit for the opinions of others and then just take your decision. So I think really taking the decision and not going back afterwards anymore is really important. Obviously, I think it's good to go through a decision-making process. I use many decision tools, some coaching tools I use for myself as well. And I think it's important just then to come back to yourself, make the decision, do really like reflecting moment, and then take the decision. For me, it's also important to not sit still all the time. I'm a moving person. So sometimes I just go for a swim, get a clear mind, go for a walk. So get into the movement. And then maybe afterwards take like really reflecting moments like journaling or writing things down, doing methods to finally take the decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there a method out of your decision toolbox that is maybe simple that you can explain here?
I think it would be a little bit too complex to explain it. I would like need to visualize a little bit. But maybe one method that comes up into my mind now is when you just put yourself into this decision and you act like as if this decision already has happened or this option has already happened. So you would think, okay, I imagine I'm already doing this.
Mm-hmm.
How does my head feel? How does my body feel? So you get a little bit into this decision and you act as if it already happened. And then you get into the feeling like already in that moment. And then we act as if it already happened. And then you can get a little bit into this if you really like it, if the decision happened or this option happened or not. This is like
Very
one
good. Thank you for sharing. So you said you're open to listen to different feedback, different opinions, because you also said sometimes it's very valuable advice or feedback. But in the end, you say it's important to take some time for yourself and make this decision by yourself. And what helps you in your case is moving, like swimming or walking, or I think, what did you say? Swimming for sure, or
walking
jogging,
or running.
Running, exactly.
Sometimes it's like a movement. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, a movement thing to clear your head and then maybe also reflect through journaling, writing it down. And then, you just shared a little tool that everyone can try at home. Imagine yourself being in that situation as if you've already taken this decision. So how would you feel? Your head, your heart, your body, everything. How would you feel about if you were living living according to a certain decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Very, very good. The point that you mentioned about other people's opinion and advice, they often mean it very well with you, right? Like they never want to harm you, but they're just always sharing their experience, their opinion on everything, right? And I feel sometimes it can be very hard, especially if it's coming from people that you really value or love, maybe parents, teachers, or your boss, or, peers, or also friends. But sometimes I feel it's also very important just to consider in that context, because I struggled with that too, right? I was also in the corporate context, and then most of my friends were in classical careers and everything. But I think it's very important, who do you take advice from? And I always say, well, if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you then only talk to corporate people, maybe it's not the best and wisest thing to do. I always say maybe also get the opinion of people who've already done it and maybe are walking the path that you want to follow too. So I guess that's maybe also very important for everyone listening out there.
Yeah. Also thinking, who are your peers and who are you actually exchanging thoughts with and brainstorming with?
Because I think it's good to get many different opinions, definitely, but sometimes it can also be confusing, right? So, but I think it's important to mostly talk to the people who already walk the path that you also want to walk on and get their experience, their feedback, and their evaluation of the situation.
Definitely. Very good additional thing. Definitely. Yeah. Think about who you talk with.
Very good. Would you say you have on your path well, would you say you have any fears, or what is your biggest fear as an entrepreneur?
Oh, at the moment, I'm not really thinking in fears mostly. Somehow I just do it without really thinking. I'm not really afraid of making mistakes. Maybe also because of my art experiences, sometimes like the drawing is going like in a really weird direction and you just draw over it, or you just like see what happens afterwards. I think when it would be one thing, maybe we could come back to that point of like others. So what would others say? And I think this is like one of the things that is like coming back. So what would others say about you just starting a podcast, for example, now at the moment? So that is not really like doing my thing or executing things, like fear mistakes in this, but more about what do others say about what you do. Again, quite similar to the thing what we had before. So how do you cope with opinions of others? You're uploading a video to YouTube. What would others think about this? This is like a really big step. And maybe it was also one of the reasons next to podcast, it seemed really a big topic and quite complex to me before, but also what would others really think of when you would really do it, for example. And I think it's something that it's like a lifelong learning, right? It is probably not from today to tomorrow that I can switch these thoughts off, but I think it's important to do it anyways. Then you say, okay, maybe they will really don't like it or find it kind of weird or find it whatever, have an opinion. There will always be people having an opinion about you and what you do and what you say, and then just stay with it anyways, because there are so many people giving an opinion. It is really about being strong and just doing it. Have a little bit of a shield around you, and
Yes, beautiful. Any concrete tip that you can give how you cope in a moment? I don't know, like maybe you haven't started your podcast yet, but you are very present on social media and LinkedIn, and you are always showing also your work. Maybe you have already in the past gotten not so nice feedback. I don't know, or maybe it was always good. Have you
I
experienced
think
something
on
like this? And how
I
would you
think
cope with it?
like I must say Instagram is really a nice platform. People are really nice on Instagram because you're not like anonymous, and
Mhm.
LinkedIn as well. I must say I have a little bit more respect for YouTube because there people are with anonymous profiles. So on social media, I haven't experienced this before.
Mhm.
Obviously in my life I've experienced like feedback, and I think it's one thing that you can just listen to feedback and take it. It is always, you say, like we say, oh, feedback is always a present, so maybe there's also something valuable in it which
Mhm.
you can learn from, and maybe you can improve something. So maybe there's like a core thing in there you can take out of it. You just decide yourself what to do with the feedback. So what is valuable for you, and what do you say, okay, I listen to this, I hear this, but I just hear it and I put it aside. So just decide yourself what of the feedback you find valuable and you want to do something with. I would say that's important. It's not like, okay, I don't listen to anyone, anything that's saying to me, because we're also here to learn. So
Yeah, I like that approach. The learning mindset, growing mindset. Very
And
good.
maybe someone is saying it in a rude way, who knows? But then still think, okay, but what is actually behind this? What is the thought behind this? So try to get a little bit back to this. So why is this person saying it? Even when this person is saying it rude, maybe there's still a core of value,
Mhm.
some value in there. Yeah.
Yes, always try to look for the value in feedback and everything, even if it doesn't come the right way.
Yeah,
Very,
exactly.
yeah, very good. Okay, talking about valuable feedback or maybe learning, the learning mindset on your journey, what have been valuable resources to you? Could be people, courses, books, anything you can recommend?
I think people are really important. Like what you say, just surround you with interesting people. So wherever, if it's in like courses, if you go a little bit outside of your usual box, you will find other minded people. So always people with a different opinion, a different kind of mindset. It can be maybe a really different mindset as you have, but it still can be inspiring inspiring, listen to the thoughts of others. So I think that's important. Just don't stick into your usual box and maybe go outside of this. And then you can jump into the water with many other kind of fishes, many other minded fishes, people. So I think that's really important, just to not stay into your usual thing. And then I really like listening to podcasts and books. Books I like, for example, I liked a lot Conversations with God. I don't know if you know this one. And I loved it a lot. I was like traveling a lot by train and I was always listening to this. And also Eckhart Tolle now, and what is the other one? New World. I like it because he's using his voice, and also Neil Donald Walsh is using his voice. They sound a little bit also like God, and it is for me really inspiring. I'm also an impatient person sometimes, and it helps me to get a little bit more to earth and to being present in here and now. And I like both of these books because and also the authors, they are different kind of style than I have. And that's why I find them also really inspiring.
Okay, very good. So the first thing you said is surround yourself with different kind of people, a little bit outside your normal comfort zone, right? Like with different kind of people, also in courses, exchange. Listen also to other people's ideas, even if they're totally different. Maybe that's inspiring. And the other one is, like you said, listening to podcasts, courses, reading books. And in that case, you're recommending Conversation with God, which I also really like. And now from Eckhart Tolle, very nice. Good. Okay, cool. So we're coming to the end of our interview. And my final question, and that's a question I really like to ask, if there's one thing you can recommend or share with the woman out there listening to this podcast who may dream about starting their own business they love, but maybe doesn't dare to, what would you tell them?
I think it is important not to make it a really, really big barrier. I think for a lot of people, it's like a very high mountain to climb up. And that many people are like a little bit afraid and scared. And it seems like such a huge thing. I think it's important to cut it down in pieces and just do it. Well, I did it like this, step by step, and then do it a little bit iterative and go step by step and then see how it goes. So don't make it a too big thing. Cut it into pieces and then just start, I would say. And then just have the courage and start doing what you like and what you love, and then see how it goes.
Very good. Thank you so much for sharing. So
You're welcome.
do what you love, do what you enjoy, do it step by step, cut it down and just start, right? Have the courage. Beautiful. Cool. Thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast episode. Very happy to have you. And
really happy to be here.
Yes, for everyone who wants to find out more about Brechtje and her work, I will link her website and everything interesting about her and her IG handle and everything in the description below. Yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. It was really nice talking to you, and I'm looking forward to everything that comes, and also our interview in my podcast where I can interview you. That'd be really exciting too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you like this episode, let me know by subscribing to Your Soul Biz Podcast and leaving me a review on iTunes or Spotify. This way I can keep the good stuff coming. If you don't follow me on Instagram yet, connect with me at Michelle Pine for more inspirations and insights. I would love to hear from you. So leave me a comment on the latest post with your biggest takeaway from today's episode. And before you leave, remember, the world needs you to be you and share your unique gifts. Go out, shine bright, and create a life you love.